Hi, I'm Neil Snyder. Thanks for joining me for another Snyder Talk video commentary. Today I want to talk to you about a book I wrote titled His Name is Yahweh. The book is available 24/7 at hisnameisyahweh.org. It's also available 24/7 at snydertalk.com. If you go to either one of those sites, you'll find not just the book, but you'll find a PowerPoint presentation. You'll find audio files that present the basic message in the text summarized. There's a world of material at snydertalk.com that you ought to take a look at, in addition to specific information about His Name is Yahweh, but it's information you can use. Again, those websites are hisnameisyahweh.org and snydertalk.com, and I urge you to use both those sites. I want to begin by focusing on a few simple facts about the name Yahweh. Sometimes Yahweh is called the divine name. Sometimes it's called the ineffable name. Ineffable name simply means unspeakable name. But Yahweh's name is not unspeakable. In fact, we've been told to declare that name to the world. Yahweh is also called the Tetragrammaton. That means four-letter word because Yahweh's name has four letters in Hebrew. If you check almost any modern English Bible translation out there today, and especially the three most commonly used Bible translations on the market today, the King James Version, the New American Standard Bible, and the New International Version, you won't find the name Yahweh in the text of the Scriptures even one time. You might find it in a footnote somewhere, but you're not going to see it in the text. Instead, what you'll see is the words Lord and God with all the letters capitalized. The substitution of Lord and God for the name Yahweh is a terrible mistake. It dates back to a tradition that was established in the mid-2nd century BC following the reign of Antiochus Epiphanes in the Syrian Empire. When Alexander the Great died, his kingdom was divided into four parts, and Antiochus Epiphanes became king of the Syrian Empire, and that included Israel. He hated Judaism and he hated Jews. He did everything he could do to profane Yahweh's name. For example, he turned the temple of Yahweh into a house of prostitution. He set up altars set up idols inside the temple. He forbade circumcision because that was required by the law. If he found a child who had been circumcised, he would kill the child and kill the parents. Like I said, he did everything he could do to profane the name of Yahweh. When he died, when Antiochus Epiphanes died, the leading religious leaders at the time, the rabbis, decided that they would build a wall around the Torah to keep people from accidentally breaking one of Yahweh's laws. They didn't want anything like that to ever happen again. Building a wall around the Torah simply means they forbade things Yahweh didn't prohibit in order to keep people from accidentally violating one of Yahweh's commands. And one of the things they did was they prohibited the use of the name Yahweh. In fact, they declared that saying the name Yahweh was blasphemy, and they even declared that the punishment for saying the name Yahweh or committing blasphemy at that time was death by stoning and hanging on a tree, which is the way the Messiah died. I'll talk about that in another Snyder Talk video commentary later, but for now I just want you to know that the prohibition against saying the name Yahweh started in the mid-2nd century BC. It was done following the reign of Antiochus Epiphanes, and it was done in order to prevent Jewish people from accidentally violating one of Yahweh's commands, or two of them in this case. One of them is that we were not to profane Yahweh's name. The other was that we were not to use His name in vain. But be that as it may, they made a terrible mistake, because the name Yahweh appears in the Old Testament alone according to Charles Ryrie, 6,823 times. And if you look at the way the name Yahweh is used in the Scriptures, you'll see that we are told to declare that name to the world because Yahweh wants the world to know who He is by name. If you go to SnyderTalk.com and look at the pages on the right, you'll see a page there titled Phrases. The name of Yahweh, I am Yahweh, and my name is Yahweh. Those three phrases tell us a lot about Yahweh's name, and you ought to take a look at them. One of the most important problems associated with substituting Lord and God for the name Yahweh is that those are titles, they're not names. Yahweh never even hinted that we should declare His titles to the world, but He commanded us to declare His name to the world. But it's even more important than that. It goes beyond that. Yahweh Himself refers to anything that has been turned into an idol for worship as either a God or Lord. Now, if you're reading your Bible, you'll see that it'll be Lord with a lowercase l and God with a lowercase g. All the letters in those words will be lowercase. But the word is the same word that Yahweh uses for Himself. So Yahweh Himself will use the words Lord and God, or Adonai and Elohim, when He talks about false gods, false deities. So they couldn't possibly be good substitutes for His name. The name Yahweh sets God apart. It distinguishes between Him and any other so-called God out there. And He told us that He wants people to know who He is by name. If you go to Exodus chapter 3, verses 13 through 15, Moses has been given instruction by God. He's to go to the children of Israel and tell them that Yahweh has come to deliver them from bondage in Egypt. And Moses is looking for a way to get out of it, but Yahweh won't let him get out of it. And so finally Moses says, well, they're going to ask me, who sent you to us? What am I going to say to them? And this is God's response. I am who I am. Thus you shall say to the sons of Israel, I am has sent me to you. Many Christian people believe that God's name is I am. And it's true. That is one of His names. But they stop there. Those verses go on to read, say to the Israelites, Yahweh, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my name forever, the name by which I am to be remembered from generation to generation. I'm quoting there from the New International Version because I like that version best here. Do you get that? Yahweh, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my name forever. Stop there for a second. What is His name forever? Well, obviously it's the name He just used. Yahweh. This, meaning Yahweh, is my name forever. What does forever mean? Forever means without end. So Yahweh is God's name forevermore. But He didn't stop there either. He says, this is the name by which I am to be remembered from generation to generation. What He's saying there is He wants people throughout history to know who He is by name. And we were given the command to declare God's name to the world, to tell the world who God is by name. But we have not done that job. In fact, we've stripped His name from the Bible. We've even mocked and ridiculed people who've told us that God's name is Yahweh, and even dare to suggest that we actually tell the world who God is by name. Well, that's what Yahweh said. And if He said it, we ought to do it. You know, we live at a time when people who worship other gods are doing everything in their power to convince the world that their God is the only God. They're violent men and women. They're doing great damage throughout the world right now. And we've got people throughout the world who call themselves Christian, who don't know the name of their God. And many who know the name of their God won't even use it, even though that's the only name we were told to declare to the world. Something's got to be done about that. Again, I urge you to go to SnyderTalk.com and look at it. In the pages on the right, you'll find a wealth of material on this subject. You can download it all for free. You can go to hisnameisYahweh.org, go to the downloads page. All of this information is available there as well. Everything is free. Everything is available 24/7. On SnyderTalk.com, you'll get daily news updates out of Israel and from around the world. You'll get opinion pieces from the leading thinkers around the world. In addition to that, you get an editorial from me, which is something I know you'll enjoy. I hope you'll enjoy. And you'll get Snyder Talk video commentaries there as well. So we have a job to do. We have the resources and tools we need to do the job. Let's get on with it. Thank you for joining me for another Snyder Talk video commentary, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.